What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to my YouTube channel. All right, I appreciate you guys watching. Today, per the title, is I'm gonna just rant, but it's real life, how you can become your own bank and make 30% with your own savings using numismatics and precious metals. So, before I was gonna record this is a really nice example of what I found at an estate sale. Got a lot of made in USA tools, and these are some of the ones that kind of didn't match or I didn't need. I ended up keeping like 90% of it. It was such nice stuff. Like, an older gentleman had passed away the next town over. This was an estate sale during COVID. You couldn't even go to the estate sale. You literally had to like buy it online and then you went and picked it up. Super weird, right? Like a local online estate sale. Anyways, I showed up. I think I paid $20 for a box of tools. I'm like, the toolbox itself was worth $20, and they just piled my trunk filled with all made in USA stuff. So this is a J. Williams socket. I've had it listed for a while. I think it sold for $7 or $8. Again, you can't get this stuff anymore. And if you purchase tools in your local hardware store, it's crazy how much they charge. And I don't even think they use like 100% metal anymore. It's like a lot of it's made in China. Even the stuff that was original American-made stuff. So I'm going to package this one up and get this one going. But other things too. I mean, I know a lot of people out there are scared, and a lot of people are even people that like really have no reason to be scared. Like people that have money are scared, which is kind of strange to me. But I get it. Like there's, we kind of sometimes people are just steady Eddie, or they inherited money, or they have a lot of money and they're always worried about it. There's nothing really you can do about it as far as the big picture stuff. So we can't control the Fed. We can't control a run on the banks. We cannot control the cost of fuel. You can't control what you pay at the grocery store. You can't really control any of that stuff. So stop thinking you can by making just panic decisions to kind of make yourself feel better, I guess. Because in the long run, you're going to look back and be like, man, I was such an idiot, or why did I fall for that? So anyways, I wanted I wanted to show some recent purchases. So I live in Illinois, and I had to download this app. It's a store called Jewel Foods. I believe they're owned by Kroger, so some of you guys watching might know who that is. But they have this app, and prior to an app even existing on the phone, you always had to like give Jewel your phone number. You could like cash checks there, whatever. I'm 46 years old, so I always, if you lived in this area, you had to have had a Jewel card, unless you literally don't shop at Jewel, which would be really strange. So I downloaded this app, and they had some really interesting coupons that let you go into the store to make purchases, and it was a pretty good deal. So like on butter, this was already on sale for $2.99, and then I got $1 off. So I ended up getting this butter, which is a pound of butter, 2 cups of butter for $1.99. And this is like name brand, right? This is not like even the Jewel brand. This is Land O'Lakes, which is pretty famous. So I got 2 of them because it was limit 2. Who wouldn't pay $2 for butter? 6 months ago, this is probably like $5. It was like stupid. I kind of splurged a little bit because I saved on the butter. I ended up buying these eggs, and these are really good. They actually have the orange inside. They're not organic. They were $5.49. And I guess I picked them up because I remember buying them before. They taste really good. They're really super orange, though. It's almost like something you watch when you watch YouTube and you see people in Japan like making eggs. Their eggs are like super orange because they're completely nutcases about eating the perfect egg. But anyways, these are really good. These are $5.49, but this was $11 2 weeks ago. So those have definitely come down. And the best deal ever, I have to put this back in my fridge. Check this out. So first of all, it was already on sale. It's a hamburger, right? Pub burgers, so they're really like seasoned. I don't even know what the mix is, but It was $3.96, and that is a ton off. So I bought 2 of these, but when I actually rang them up, they rang up as $1. So they literally were just wanting to get rid of it. And it's because it's, today's April Fool's. This is not April Fool's joke, but I have to eat this by tomorrow. So I froze 1 packet, and then my son-in-law and I ate 2 burgers last night because we're meat eaters and all the ladies in this house are vegetarian. But again, like, if I wouldn't have been at the store with that stupid coupon shopping for stuff, I would have never found hamburger meat for $1. And it's not like gross hamburger meat. It's really, really, really good. Anyways, let me pause this and put this back so my food doesn't go bad. All right, sorry about that, guys. I had to put the food away. I didn't want it going bad. The point of this video is basically to explain to you, it's like you don't have control over the big picture items. We just don't. And if you think you do, you don't. So part of this video is to, I guess, encourage you guys maybe to go out of your comfort zone and try something new. Or if it's not even something you're comfortable with, maybe do something that you are good at, just do more of it. Or just be more conscious of your environment and kind of like what's going on. So really, really good deal, right? On the food. Awesome deal, actually. I think my total bill was like $53, and I ended up leaving with literally, and we do the plastic bags here still, and I think I ended up leaving with 6 plastic bags with the food. And it was all like real stuff, like cream cheese, butter, milk, creamer, nothing fun. no cookies. I did get 1 bag of chips for a couple bucks. Had to splurge on that, but I guess what I'm getting at is that was an awesome deal on the food. So I think food has come down, but the gas around here, guys, is $3.99, and it's like everywhere, and no one's really talking about it because I think we're all kind of being distracted by other stuff. But for the cheap stuff, $3.99. The mid grade was like $4.49, and then the higher grade is over $5, like at 93 octane, which a lot of folks need if you have a premium vehicle. That is not a good deal. And I looked at the price of barrel of oil is like 70 something bucks. I'm like, why is all our gas around here like completely jacked? So I don't know what's going on here in Illinois. I don't know if you guys see that where you're at. But again, it gets to my point of you don't have control over big picture items. Meaning when you go to fill up, yeah, you could go drive to another gas station or you can go drive further away, but it's like counterproductive, right? Like why drive 10 miles to save, 10 cents a gallon when you're spending that savings on the trip anyways. So I guess what I get to is the point of this video is like how do you create, or let's say you have assumed, let's say you have some wealth and you've already pulled it out of the bank and you're thinking about pouring it into precious metals. That is okay. You're kind of just parking it. If you're brand new at it, it's going to be kind of scary. But chances are if you're watching this, you're kind of already into coins or numismatics, but maybe you're not an expert by any means. So I guess any dummy can go into a store and buy something. But it takes a savvy buyer or having experience, knowing what to buy, can get you more for your money. And you really have to do a good job of it now more than ever because everything is so much more expensive. Like, what's our inflation number? 6% or whatever. So those of you who are thinking about taking the money out of the bank because you're scared that the bank's going to go under or you're just sick of the whole system, that's absolutely fine. I don't recommend taking all of it out. Do what you can with it. But again, we're all adults here. But if you are considering on investing it in metals or numismatic coins, this is going to be a pretty cool video. So what I first, number one, recommend is that you pick a category that you're absolutely passionate about. So you don't have to know everything about the category, just like it so much that you're willing to dive deep into it. So for example, let's say you like Morgan silver dollars. Morgan silver dollars range anywhere from 1878 is the first year it started to 1921. And there's a weird gap between 1904 and 1921. And there's also modern Morgans from 2021. So number one is, if you don't have any money extra, let's say you don't have money in the bank, or you're like completely like freaking out, look around your house for stuff to sell. Sell it on eBay. Have a garage sale. Have an estate sale. Get some capital going so that you're not just doing the same, mundane task every single day, or going to work or driving a truck, whatever you're doing. If you don't have the extra funds because it's all allocated towards bills and everything else, look around your house. Guys, we're in America here. Everyone has extra stuff. Even people that don't make a lot of money, they have extra stuff. You might have an old video game. You might have old clothes that, believe it or not, some of you older guys, if you have clothes from the 80s or 90s or the 70s or 60s, let's say you have some old jeans, there's like jeans that are worth $250 or more. I've never seen them, but there's just stuff like that that's out there. What's really, really popular is anything that's USA made. So if you have old tools that you no longer use because you can't physically use them anymore, why do you have them in your garage? For what? What is the purpose? What is that tool in the garage doing if you are no longer physically able to use that tool? Do you just have it in there, to look at it? Is it in there collecting dust? Well, get it out there, get rid of it, sell it, whatever. So again, if you don't have any money, you have money in your house somewhere, something, or your apartment or your trailer, wherever you live, right? So everyone has stuff. So take that stuff, list it on eBay, have an estate sale, get some money, and find a category that you're super interested in, that you really, really enjoy. So I'm going to use a very difficult one here. It's the most popular one. It's the Morgan silver dollar. It's definitely the most popular coin. These are like the workhorses for every single coin shop, which is good. This is I shouldn't say quick. It's a safe place to park some money, enjoy hobby, make a little bit of profit, but also protect your own money, your own wealth. So number one rule is, do not get high on your own supply. The goal is to make money, not to hoard stuff. We're not making a museum here either. So if you already have some precious metals or some coins and you want to try this, but you're like kind of scared of going all in, that's fine. Like take say $1,000 worth of your stuff, or, depending on your income level or your savings level, take $100. So if you have $1,000 worth of stuff lying around the house, try it with $100. It's not going to get a lot of these coins, but it might get you, 2 or 3. Anyways, you want to concentrate on just finding the best deal possible by sourcing. You can source from eBay. People on eBay all the time run into collections. There are deals on eBay. You just got to be fast and you have to be constantly looking. Check out your local coin shop. Sometimes local coin shops will bring in a bunch of collections. They don't have time to go through all the coins, and there might be some good ones. For example, my local coin shop, a lot of times people inherit their collections, and there'll be a bunch of silver dollars and a Dansko album or Whitman album or whatever. And the coin shop just, looks at each one real quick, counts them all up, pays them an amount. They take the key dates out, and then they literally will take like all the 1880S's out of the albums and put them in a tube, and they really don't even process them. It's more for like a wholesale type thing, or they'll process them later. So you can go to a local coin shop that's larger and just kind of ask, like, hey, can I see all your 1880S's? Your sliders, your ugly ones, whatever, and just kind of cherry pick some of those. You can also go to coin shows. A lot of times dealers are looking to get out of the hobby, or there's just someone there that has a good deal on something because they were able to get it really cheap. So, something that's normally sells for $40, that dealer might have picked it up for $20, and they're happy to sell it. They're happy to sell it to you for $30, and then you can take that $30 item and sell it for $40, on eBay. You can check out estate sales. You can probably check out pawn shops too. Again, it all depends on where you live. From my experience, buying the larger collections of coins from resellers on eBay or an LCS some usually can get you better deals. Meaning you might pay let's say a flat rate. So let's say you got 10 Morgan silver dollars and you pay $400 for 10 BU Morgan silver dollars, or just like a random lot of it. And some of them might be worth around 40, $45, but then there might be some in there that are worth 80, $85 or even 100. Again, a lot of times people will sell collections and they're just looking to get their money out of it. They don't have process they don't have time to process 10 coins. So that's what you want to look for out there. You could purchase years and mint marks that you are familiar with and then become knowledgeable, like actual experts on it. So there's a whole thing on VAMs, errors, condition, how to spot cleaning, O over O, S, double S's, die breaks, what coins can grade out for, if they're worth more after you get them graded. These are all things that you can definitely become an expert on. And again, it's something that you become more knowledgeable on. If you're not comfortable doing the older Morgan stuff, you can look at the modern stuff. So there's a lot of, they came out with all these 2021s and you can just find people looking to get rid of that stuff or looking for nicer examples that are sitting in US Mint factory packaging that you could submit for a Mint State 70 and kind of like double or triple your money. And even if you're into this type of category, you're going to really specialize in it. You can even look for silver rounds that have Morgans on it. They're not true Morgan silver dollars, but the Morgan silver rounds typically go for a little bit more because people like the design. Some of the things I don't recommend if you're going to do a Morgan silver dollar in the beginning is looking at Carson City. Carson City Morgan silver dollars, I want to say, are more of the conservative, kind of like the steady Eddie, meaning everybody knows that Carson City is worth a lot. And you're going to end up burying a lot of money into one coin, whether it's raw or graded, and it's not really going to go up much. So unless you can score like a smoking deal, like let's say you get a Carson City BU silver dollar for $200 and you can bring it to the coin shop and they'll give you 300, or you can sell it on eBay for 325, 350. It's okay to buy something that expensive, but other than that, if you're thinking I'll buy this Carson City for 300 and it's worth 350, most people that are looking at that Carson City are willing to pay 320. So after eBay fees and everything, it's a complete waste of time. I mean, it's okay to park money there, but you're not going to make any money on it. The other thing too is a lot of times you'll buy collections and sometimes they'll put Carson City Morgans in the collections. So they'll just be lower grade. So you might have a bunch of BU coins like this, and then there might be a lower grade Carson City. But if you're averaging, let's say you're paying 45 a coin, so you buy a lot of 10 for 450, but there's a Carson City in there. Even if that Carson City is kind of trash looking, or let's say it's fine, it's still worth over $150. So a lot of times you'll find those in those collections. That's the exception to the rule. Until you get really, really good, or you have a lot of money to invest in it, I don't recommend burying money in a bunch of Carson Cities. Because again, they're going to get hot again later this year when the new reverse proofs and all that stuff comes out from the mint. But they're, they kind of peaked at 350 or 400 almost, and now you can kind of get them for under, around 300 or under. I really recommend that you learn how to grade Morgans and understand the different grading within the years in the mint marks. So in 1880 San Francisco Mint, say it's all frosty and you've got mirror fields on both sides, the eagle's frosty and it looks really, really nice. That might be a Mint State 64, but if it's in another year, let's say it's in 1888, that might be considered deep mirror proof and that same condition coin might be a $400 or $500 coin versus a $100 coin in San Francisco. So 1880. So you really have to understand how each individual years and mint marks are different. So you can't say, well, this 1880S is a Mint State 64 and then pull out, that 1888 and expect the 1888 that looks almost identical to 1880S to, be worth about the same. It's going to be worth a lot more because it's just there's not a lot of survival rates out there. The other rule too with regarding to Carson City Morgans is stay away from the GSA Morgans. So those Morgans that come in those big black holders that I think the government released, or the U.S. Mint found like a hoard, and they sold those pretty cheap. I want to say in the 70s, maybe the 80s, but stay away from those too, because those are already, like, those aren't a secret, meaning you're going to pay like $300-$400 for it, and that's all it's going to be worth. Unless you can like find someone that doesn't know what it's worth and they're willing to sell to you for $200, well then yeah, grab it. But other than that, like, stay away from GSA Morgan silver dollars as far as for reselling until you become really, really good. Meaning, I don't want you guys risking like $400 or $500 on one coin and then losing $50, whereas $450 versus one coin in a GSA holder can actually get you 10 Morgan silver dollars like this, and that's like diversifying your portfolio. So that would give you like 10 opportunities to make money and also learn, right? So if you have, you're going to learn more if you look at 10 coins versus one. And then I also recommend staying away from already graded Morgan silver dollars until you really know what you're doing. Don't buy slab Morgan silver dollars to resell. You are going to end up just buying what looks pretty. You're going to overpay for it, and then you're going to be disappointed when you go to sell it. Especially if you go to a local coin shop, they're going to give you gray sheet price. So unless you can get a Mint State 63 Morgan silver dollar and you can get it for like $50, I think gray sheet on something like that is around 60, 65, maybe 60. And then you can maybe resell it on eBay for 100. That'd be great if it really, really looks good. But other than that, I'd stay away from already graded stuff. Like, if you want to get into graded stuff, find something awesome that's raw, send it in to get graded yourself. Just make sure you're going to at least double your money back. Meaning, don't spend $50 on this coin, spend another $38-$40 to send it in graded, so you got $90 buried into it, and then it comes back Mint State 64. Okay, you got a $125 coin, maybe $130 depending on how it looks. That's great to keep and hold, but it's not great to resell, because also when you send it in to get graded, they're going to take like 3-4 months to get it back to you. Maybe like, say, 2 months. And again, that 2 months of time is tying up your money. So don't send stuff in to get graded when you're reselling coins. Try and stick with the raw, or if stuff is already graded and you get a great deal on it, awesome. Just make sure you can sell it for more. The other thing too is, like, when something's already graded, it's really tough to get your coin to kind of stick out. And don't get me wrong, like, people on eBay take crappy pictures and stuff all the time. Some dealers, I think, are blind. Like, literally their photos are blurry and they expect to sell coins, but that's just how people roll. So anyways, once you have the inventory, so let's say once you get the coins, list them right away. Like, don't just put them in a pile, put them off to the side. You're going to end up hoarding and be creating like an actual museum. So when you get stuff, or you buy stuff from eBay or from your local coin shop, process it immediately. Get it while it's fresh. Get it while you're excited. What is the process? Well, you want to obviously do the research on the coin itself, and you want to take photos of the coin. So I recommend at least taking 12, 14 photos. So this is how I take my photos. I go one like this, and then I take one from the camera above. So I'm simulating like if you're holding it at the coin shop. And then I would take one like this at this angle, one with the camera above, down, and then one like at this angle, on the right, on the left. Same like this, on the right, on the left. I'm weird. I take a picture of the coin on an actual scale. So a Morgan silver dollar should weigh 26.8 grams. And then I also take a caliper, and it should measure 1.5 inches. And I also, test it with a magnet in my photos. So it's a neodymium magnet, just to, again, further authenticate and make the future buyer of the coin confident that I have something authentic. And then you want to accurately describe the coin. So you want to obviously put the year, the mint marks. In this case, this is a S mint mark for San Francisco. You want to mention that it is 90% silver. So there is a spot for that in eBay to do that. You want to put the cam number. All cam numbers for Morgans are 110. And then you want to put a nice title. Don't go crazy. Don't put deep mirror proof like or anything like that, or mint state 63. You'll actually get in trouble for grading it yourself, but it's okay to put BU. So if it's an actual brilliant uncirculated coin, it's cool to put BU. If it's frosty, put that it's frosty. Do not edit your photos, so don't make the coin look better than it actually is. You actually do want to show all the defects so that your future buyer, when they get the coin in hand, they're not thinking that they're getting something better than it actually is. You want to show all the defects and the flaws. So if there is, an obvious flaw, or if there is a VAM or there's some kind of doubling, get your loop out and take a picture of it. You also want to price the coin out so it's competitive on eBay. Kind of look at what other coins are listed for, what recent recorded sales. Like, don't make up prices thinking like, oh, I'm going to sell this for $200. Why? Because someone else on eBay sold it for $200. Well, why did theirs sell for $200 and yours is still sitting? Theirs is much nicer condition, meaning it could have probably, it has more eye appeal, that kind of thing. So again, pay very, very close attention to actual condition of the coin. Anyway, so once you actually sell the coin, do not just, celebrate and don't do anything. You want to get it shipped out right away. So you want to actually, put it in an envelope. I always write an actual thank you card to all my buyers, so that way they kind of remember. I don't put the invoice. A lot of people like to print the invoice and put it in there. To me, it's kind of a waste. Everyone knows if they bought something on eBay, you can easily look at the app and see what you bought. But you want to get it shipped out, and you want to get it dropped off at the post office right away. Just as if you were buying, you would want that seller to send your coin out right away. Trust me, guys, it's really annoying when someone sells you something and then they take like a week or 10 days or 15 days to ship it out to you. It's like, I almost feel like you're being used as an actual bank. So they're like kind of holding your product hostage. And then you want to write positive feedback right away. Don't play games with the feedback. Like, some sellers wait until the buyer sends them feedback. Like, just send the buyer feedback right away. You can't really leave negative feedback for buyers, so you want to leave just leave the feedback right away. And then, once you ship out the coin, they'll get the tracking details. eBay will notify the buyer that you've actually shipped it out. All that good stuff. Let's see what else here. Oh, and then after you sell the coin, so if you already have a sale, you should already be looking for another coin to replace it. So you should either be looking at eBay or your local coin shop. So you don't want to just like let the profit come in and don't do anything with it. You want to reinvest it in another coin and then duplicate what you just did. And then, kind of learn from your mistakes. So you're not going to be perfect every time. Sometimes you're not going to make as big of a profit. But if you do make a decent profit, like, pay attention to what you bought, understand why that coin was so valuable. But the key is buying it and getting it at a good price. That's the key. If you overpay for it, you'll really never make a profit. And then basically there's, supplies. So you need to get like Mylar flips. You have to get envelopes. I recommend, getting envelopes that actually fit coins. You want a tape gun. You can, I use a Brother printer. I print out all my labels myself. I don't buy those fancy printers that already are designed for, high volume shipping. That's not really necessary. You want to get some good paper cutting scissors. You want to get a nice ultra fine point Sharpie so you can write your titles. And then I always write on the back in pencil the item number and things like that. And then obviously you want to get a storage box that fits 2.5 by 2.5 flips. Those also fit the slabs. And then for accounting, you definitely want to create an Excel spreadsheet. You want to keep track of everything that you buy, what you buy it for, when you bought it, who you bought it from, especially if it's on eBay, in case you ever get audited. And then anything like with miles on your car. So if you're driving to the post office, you're driving to your coin shop, or anything business related, like let's say you're going, staying at a hotel for a coin show, things like that. You want to keep track of all that because all those expenses can help offset some of your profits, because you don't want to be paying taxes on something that if you actually had an expense on. And then you also want to create a spreadsheet based on the sales. So you want to show like when you sold it, keep track of the taxes, the eBay fees, any gifts that you give, the shipping fees. Those are all expenses. So you want to keep all that in an Excel spreadsheet. And then the key is too is like you want to make sure you're listing at least 10 items a day. So anyways, money earned from your personal sales. So like, let's say if you have personal items lying around the house, that can be used to further fuel your business. So if you're kind of starting out small, you don't have 10 items to list right away. I'm sure you have 10 items in your house that you can find. Everybody does. And then always be looking for the next purchase. Set yourself some goals. So daily goals, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual. Learn from your mistakes. Like literally don't do them again. And also learn from your bigger profits. So if you make a big profit on a coin, memorize that so that next time that deal comes along, you're able to do it again and know that it's something you can sell and make a big profit on. And then I would always recommend like staying away from big purchases at first until you kind of know what you're doing. You want to stay solvent. You don't want all your money tied up in your inventory. You always want to have some money available to purchase new inventory. And if you're doing everything right, you should be turning over all your inventory within 43, 45 days. That's a pretty successful retail store with something like that. And again, if you're sitting on inventory too long, well, then you want to, reduce prices, or if you just made some mistakes, like just reduce it, get rid of it. It's okay to sell something at a loss because then you can take those funds and turn it into something that's an actual profit. So anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. So again, one of the things is, you can kind of control your own funds, and it's a good way to increase profits. And so far this year, my first quarter, or my first actual quarter, is over. These are how many active listings I got going, the total sales I've done. So I'm selling about 5 per day in the last 89 days. This is the total revenue. So 2,084 of it was personal items, like that item I just showed in the beginning. Here's the sales tax, cost of goods sold, gifts, what I paid eBay, which is about 10%, and then shipping, that's what I paid the post office. So that's total profit, and that's average per sale, average profit per sale. So I'm about a 30% profit margin. So again, if you followed this and you list like I did, you literally could take an initial $10,000 investment, and at the end of the year, make a nice 30% profit on it. And then worst case, if you wanted to get rid of everything right away and unload all your inventory, you can get your initial investment back, and you probably have 30. I guess my goal is to, like, let's say if I dropped all my inventory and got rid of it for 10 grand, and it's at the end of this year, I would also have another 30,000 in profit. So pretty cool way to, again, control your own funds, your own destiny. And we're going to end the video here with Lady Godiva here. So the story on this one is her husband was heavily taxing the English city at the time. And he said, if you go through the city with no clothes on, I'll get rid of the taxes. So she was for the people, and she did it. And he ended up, lowering the taxes. So stay away from this stuff. This stuff is virtual. I mean, put a little in if you like it, but this stuff isn't real. This is real. These are physical, and these are real. And these are pretty good sellers for me as well. So that was my take. So I do invest in Bitcoin and Dogecoin, but the physical kind. So anyways, guys, appreciate you guys watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.